Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, let me talk about the latest developments in Sudan. As everyone knows, the conflict is ongoing. Clashes are taking place without interruption. Hundreds of people have been killed, thousands of people have been internally displaced, and tens of thousands of people are without access to their basic needs. Now, as you will recall, I have suggested that the RSF attempted coup against the government in Sudan has been backed by, if not was initiated by, the UAE and Saudi Arabia, with the unofficial approval of Washington, Beijing, and Moscow, all of whom have close relationships with the UAE and with Saudi Arabia, and all of whom would see the logic and benefit to them of having Sudan fall securely under Khaliji dominion. Now, I have also posited that the United States, because they don't fully trust the UAE or Saudi Arabia these days, they hedged their approval for the coup by reserving the strategic option of simply plunging Sudan into a long, grinding conflict that would neutralize Russian and Chinese interests in Sudan, as well as having the potential of escalating the conflict and having it spill over throughout the region, thereby neutralizing or disrupting anyway Chinese and Russian interests across Africa. Well, now today, May 6th, Saudi Arabia has convened talks between the Sudanese army and the RSF in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, in talks that have been co-signed by the United States. And the UAE is also mentioned as a supporter of the negotiations. This, I believe, confirms what I've been saying. The managers of this project in Sudan are the UAE and Saudi Arabia. And they are now trying to corral the parties into a resolution, or anyway into a structure through which a resolution could eventually be achieved. And one of the bargaining chips that they're using in these negotiations is the threat of American escalation of the conflict. And that's why America's name is in the announcement about the talks. As I've mentioned before, there has been no international condemnation of the RSF, only condemnation of violence by both sides. No one has come out to say that it's wrong to try to overthrow the government, and no one has come out to say that the government has a right to put down a coup attempt. This again is quite revealing. What you would normally expect to see is for the international community to fully back the government, even militarily, to ensure that the coup plotters and the mutineers get neutralized. So the fact that the RSF has not yet been thrown under the bus by their backers indicates to me that there is a consensus among the stakeholders in Sudan that they would still like to see the RSF topple the government. Stakeholders in Sudan here being the UAE, Saudi Arabia, America, Russia, and China. Unfortunately, not the population. Now, the RSF still has a few